from Fight Octave here, and today I'm with Daniel Frunza, the knockout artist and the newest member of the UFC. How's it going?
So, brother, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining the show.
My pleasure.
So, what were the last moments of that fight like? When you had him on the ground, you were hammering him with ground and pound. Like, what was going through your mind?
To be honest, I was so happy that it was over. To be honest, I've never been that happy in my entire life. I did not think about the contract. I was just happy that the fight was over because it was a nightmare to deal with that guy. So it was. I was.
Yeah, I mean, the sports books, they had you as an underdog going into this fight. A lot of people online seemed to doubted you. I picked you to win that fight before it happened, and I told everyone they were sleeping on you. Do you think people will stop doubting you now?
No, they're gonna keep doubting me. Gonna keep doubting me. I was not surprised to be an underdog against such a great opponent with such a great record. I mean, come on. I went there 8-2, and yeah, okay, I have finishes, I have KOs and everything against very good guys, especially in LFA in my last 4 or 5 fights. But come on, he was 17-1. Like, how can you doubt a guy like that? Especially the caliber of opponents that he fought and beat. I mean, it's undeniable. The guy was undeniable. So I'm not surprised that I was underdog. Not that much of an underdog, but yeah, it's okay. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep being an underdog for a little bit more time because yeah, they're gonna watch the last fight and they're gonna say, oh, he was taken down easily, and that's yes, it's true, but that was by design. That choice to stay on the ground, it was by choice.
Yeah, it was an awesome moment when you had him in that ground and pound. You were gonna get the win. I mean, how did it feel when Dana White called out your name and said you were getting that contract?
Oh, finally, man, finally. Finally it happened. I visualized in my head him having those papers and talking to Laura Senko's mic and calling my name and tell me welcome to the UFC. It sounded familiar and I was not surprised. I mean, how can you deny a KO? You can't.
Yeah. I mean, coming from Romania, how has the transition been coming to the US? You've been here for, I think, a few years now, right? How has that been?
So, my story starts in Italy, to be honest. We're talking about MMA. So,
Yeah.
my story starts in Italy. I started in Italy when I was about 18 or 19. I start with MMA. I just start straight with MMA. I tried some kickboxing, some boxing, some other stuff, but nothing more than a few months. So, nothing in reality. Um, I started when I was 19, and to do it like seriously. And shortly later I started to fight. 7 months later I started to fight as an amateur, and I tried to stay pretty active as an amateur. And around 20, I was 21 when I turned pro. 2021, like 2 years later. And since then, I was okay. The level of competition in Italy was not great, but I was able to keep up with them. And then I saw many of the top guys in Italy. They were going out and do training camps for like 2 3 months. They were coming back way better, and I was like, nah, that's no way. Like, if I want to keep up with these guys, or be better than them, I need to go away. So when I was 23, I went to South America. I went to South America for 4 years, and I trained there until 27. When I was 27, I came here for a few months. I fought in CES and then left to Europe to do some papers. And 10 months later, I came back. And that was 2 years ago. And the transition was crazy, was extremely difficult because at the level that I was fighting, you don't make no money, or very little money. So no money, just a dream, a bag with some equipments, with gloves and clothing and stuff like that, and move around the world like this. It was not easy. So, but worth it for sure.
For sure. It was such an amazing story, coming from Italy, coming here, working through, not a lot of pay. You're going through all that. I mean, now that you've made it here, do you have any welterweights in mind? I mean, we have Shavkat, Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad. Do you have anyone in mind in the top 15 or anyone in like the top 25 that you're looking to fight?
All of them eventually. All of them. Eventually, yes. All of them. I hope. I really do hope. Like, it, I said it in an interview before the fight. Like, if you are in the UFC and the belt is not in your mind, you're gonna get hurt. Like, you should not be there because that's the top of the top in the world. So if money is in your mind, or fame or attention, you are in the wrong place. Like, that's the wrong way to acquire attention, or wealth. You are there to fight and prove yourself as the best in the world. Or try, but for real, try. You may make it, you may not, but you have to do it, like, seriously. Because if you're there for money, you're gonna have a really short career. So yeah, eventually I hope to face at least half of them. But that's what I'm headed. I have my eyes on the top, 100%. Now I know I need to follow the steps and do it correctly, and I will. But yeah, eventually I hope to fight them all.
Good. Now that you're finally here, like, when do you want your next fight to be?
So they gave me 30 days suspension. So obviously, in the next month I won't be fighting. I would like December. I know the fights are already done almost until December. Now somebody may slip on a banana peel, and if they want, they can call me, and I'll jump in 100%. But if not, most likely UFC is gonna give me a fight in January, or end of January, beginning of February, which for me it's works just fine.
I wasn't aware of this 30-day suspension. What did they do that for?
Well, if you saw the fight, I got punched quite a lot in the first round. So case just in case they gave me 30 days suspension, just to make sure that there's no problem with me, just to keep me in check. I receive email from their medical team, ask me if I'm okay and everything. Like, they check on me every few days, and that's great. Props to them. It's amazing, to finally have an organization that just take care of you. It's good. So yeah, they gave me these 30 days. I'm gonna take a little break as always, and then I'm gonna maybe next week get back in training. I need to take care of a small injury that I had, you know, prior to the fight, that got not worse in the fight, but it start to bother a little bit, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
take care of that first. Prioritize my health, my physical health, and then get back in there as soon as possible.
good. Well, speaking of physical health, like, what was your weight cut like for this camp?
Weight is not bad. It was not bad. I mean, I'm not small for a welterweight, but I stay pretty low. Like, I walk around 187, 188. Something like, I need to go crazy for a few days, with some trashy food to hit 190. But I stay around 187. So it's 17 pounds. It's not, I do it correctly, I do it with time. So I don't suffer too much. So the weight cut, it's good. I never had a problem with the weight cut. Never give me, like, problem to perform the weight cut. The weight cut, it's good. I always eat clean. I don't drink. I don't party. I don't go out. Sometimes I'll pop a burger here and there, or some Diet Coke, but nothing more than that. So I stay clean 99% of the time outside of of let's say camp.
Nice. So 90% of your wins are by knockout. Do you feel like that is your advantage? Has always been on the striking?
So against this guy, well, what's the question? Like, what do you want to know
Like, do
exactly?
you feel like in every fight you've had, you've always had the advantage in the striking?
No, not necessarily. I know one thing. I hit pretty damn hard, and I'm really accurate with my punches, and I got more and more accurate with time. So a guy may be faster than me or throw better combination, but I all the time stay extremely composed in there, and I pick my shots. I don't just throw hands in the air. And I know I kind of naturally have heavy hands. So if I touch you, it's just a matter of time. If you have a good chin, you're gonna take a few until you go down. If you don't have such a great of a chin, you're gonna go to sleep before you know it. So you're gonna wake up looking at the ceiling. So that's for sure, and not an advantage, but a thing, that keeps me composed in there. I know if I touch you, you're not gonna like it. So yeah, it's a good weapon that I have, and
Yeah.
especially the
Do
last.
you think there's like,
Tell me, sorry.
what
Go
was
ahead.
that? Oh, I was gonna say, was there a specific moment in a fight before Dana White's Contender Series that you think put you on the map for that fight?
The last two fights. The last two fights for sure. Like my first fight in LFA, the debut against Jalen Fuller, that was the fight that put me on the map. It was co-main event, LFA 164, I think. Yeah, in El Paso, Texas, and I was a nobody. I was a nobody, and Jalen just fought for the belt um, against Trey Waters and lost, but he was dominating that fight. And he did a foolish mistake. He overextended over a straight left, and got countered with the right hook, and got knocked out. And it was his comeback fight. So they gave him a nobody, in that case me, and everyone was expecting him to win. And he's a guy who just fought for the belt the fight before. And yeah, I was huge underdog in that fight, and I just went there and mopped the floor with him. I finished him, I think, within 3 minutes. So that was the fight, I think, that put me on the map.
Yeah,
And then
for sure.
fight was the main event against Harris in Vail, LFA 170, and everyone was like, "That's no way. He's such a good wrestler. He's not gonna do nothing against such a good wrestler. It's on high elevation. He's coming from Miami, sea level. He's gonna die in less than one round." And I got all the odds, all the odds against me. Plus, I opened my eyebrow 12 days before the fight, so I was not be able to train properly and sweat and grapple and do all my thing. And nothing. Still went there, high elevation against maybe one of the best wrestlers in the division at 170 in LFA, and well, put his ass out.
Yeah. Your
And I
LFA,
I outpaced him in that fight. I was not gassing out. I outpaced him. I put the pace. I put the pace on him. So yeah, I think I defy the odds all the time. Like, if you bet against me, you better be ready to lose your money, because I'm gonna keep winning.
yeah. I feel like your LFA run was awesome. It was a great. You were going through everyone there, and then this Dana White Contender Series fight. Do you think this was your toughest training camp so far?
No, and I'll tell you why. It's not because no, it's not the trade. It was not hard. Everything is hard, and I'll tell you why. Because normally I don't do training camps. I don't believe in training camps. I all the time train. Like, I do not stop training ever, ever. I I just up a little bit the intensity. So let's say I go year round, 60%, 65%. I don't want to burn myself. but I train constantly. I all the time try to improve. I all the time try to sharpen up my tools. And when a fight is getting proposed to me, I just sign the contract and I just up a little bit the level. I just go to 85%, 90%. I just, try to push those last 3, 4 weeks and get ready for the fight so I can peak at the right moment when the fight comes, and that's it. And then I get back to 60%. You know, I never take times off between fights. I never take more than a week. I take a week. I just kind of rehydrate properly and try to recover my body if I have some injuries. But I'm always in training, always. So it's not like they're all the same in reality. The only thing that changes is just small details, trying to train accordingly. Like, let's say if I have like a better striker, we're going to focus more on this aspect and this aspect. If I have a good grappler, we're going to do more this or that. But other than that, nope, nothing changed. It's all the same.
Do you have anyone at your training camp that you really appreciate working with?
Well, all of them. And I don't have famous guys, in my camp. I train sometimes. Some UFC guys come here and train, but I don't have like on a daily basis famous fighter to train with. But my partners are more than enough and more than capable to help me and push me. And all of them, like I love them all, because when we train, even when we train hard, we take care of one another, which is the most important thing. Like we can go hard but still keep it extremely civilized, where we don't injure one another. So for me, I think that's the most important thing to have on a training partner. Like a partner that will beat your ass if it's necessary, but at the same time will take care of you. Will try not to injure you. Will try not to overdo it. If you, maybe, let's say you are tired, and it's maybe it's your day off, they don't try to just overkill you inside the training room, but they will push you. So that's is the thing that I love the most about the people that I'm working with right now.
Do you believe if you string out a few fights here, do you think you can get into the top 15 within the next 2 years?
I'll get next. I'll get to the top 15 next year if God's willing, and I'm healthy and no injuries, or my plan is to fight at least 4 times next year. And if I put at least 2 or 3 knockouts back to back to back, I'll have the power of calling out people, or at least demanding a top 15. So if all goes according to plan, next year, maybe by the end of the year, I'll be able to jump into that top 15, especially if the UFC goes to Europe. If they go to Europe, I'll go to Europe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm an European fighter. So yeah, I appeal to all public in Europe, here, or South America. They can send me on all 3 continents, and still draw atten- draw attention. So if they go to Europe, 100% I'll be there. So we have I think one guy from Europe that right now it's top 15, which is the Danish guy. The what his name is, Nicholas Dalby, but
Yep.
he's fighting is, the Brazilian. What his name is, Santos. So yeah, I hope if he wins, uh, maybe yeah, that would be the guy that I would like to fight next year as the introduction to my top 15, Nicholas Dalby.
Nice. Do you believe a lot of the guys at welterweight can even like hold your power?
To be honest, yes, there are a few. There are a few. Uh, there are a few good guys that they don't get hit too clean. Uh, so they know how to roll punches. So yeah, they are a few. But in the top 15, I think half of them, if I get my hands on like clean on them, no way you can keep your senses. Like you're gonna go out, you're gonna go to sleep. So
Nice.
that's that's my belief.
All right, we're gonna get to some fun questions here that I got. So, what is something that people do not notice about fighters?
The behind the scene, all the suffering, a lot of people in general romanticize a lot the fighter life. You know, the being a fighter. They associate that with party and bitches and a lot of luxuries, which is not true at all. Not true at all. Now it may be true in a few cases, uh, but 90% of fighters, they are really extremely humble people. You know, so they don't see behind the scene, the day-to-day life. They think we are some rock stars or something, which is
So, is there like a certain MMA fighter who you call like your goat or your favorite fighter of all time?
here. I'm gonna jump on Dana's train. I'll go Jones. How can you deny the guy? You People will say, oh well, he was on steroids. Excellent. If Jones was on steroids, then it means everyone else was on steroids and still beat them. But if no one was on steroids, then Jones was not on steroid either. So still beat them. So with or without, no one got even close. Maybe Reyes and yeah, maybe Reyes got close, but anyone else, they didn't got even close to beat John. So I Jones is the goat.
Nice.
That's
I
it.
like your take on that.
And then I'll put right there second place GSP with Anderson, and then I'll put DJ at third place.
Nice. I like that. It's a good list. For the final question, will you be watching the fights this weekend, and do you have a prediction for the main event?
Uh, who's fighting the main event? Khalil against
Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree.
uh, I I always go with the underdog, you know. But how can you deny Alex? How can you deny Alex, man? I'll go Pereira. I'll go because Khalil likes to stay in front of people sometimes, and you don't stay in front of that guy. And he sometimes bull rushes head forward with a lot of power. If he catches you, you're gonna you're gonna wake up in the ambulance in the back. So yeah, I'll go Alex. I'll go
I
Alex. I
like
think
that.
he's gonna get the job done, and then he's gonna face Ankalaev, and he's
Yeah.
gonna lose
You
against
think
against
so?
yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good fight too, I feel like. I don't know. Well, I want to thank you.
Ankalaev is gonna shoot. He's gonna
You
shoot.
think so?
Oh, one that. What you gonna do? You're gonna strike with him?
Exactly. I think I would do the same too.
People can say that Ankalaev is boring. It's to me, it's not boring at all. He's an extremely his fighting IQ. It's extremely high. So he's gonna try to move around, take his time, and shoot. Like that's the only thing you have to do with Alex. Just tire him out and kind of find a way to either beat him on the ground or just win by decision. But who cares? A win is a win, and if it's for that belt, who cares how you win it? You just you know.
Yep.
Ankalaev is gonna do what he needs to be done to win that fight. So I think Pereira is gonna win this one and lose the one with Magomed.
I like that take. Well, I want to thank you, Daniel Frunza, for joining the show. Good luck in your next fight, whoever it may be.
Brother, my pleasure.
So
I hope it's gonna be before the end of the year. If not, for sure it's gonna be end of January or February. So stay tuned. I'll be ready to go and knock somebody else out. So just
nice.
time to not bet against me.
Never. I was the only one who picked you. All in line. I had you picked before.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you for joining the show. Everyone who's watching, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like it up. And see you guys in the next one. Take care,
Excellent.
guys.
Bye bye, guys. Thank you.